It's
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of CMA's HRTV episode 7. Can you imagine? Hope you guys are doing great. How are you all? Another MCO 3.0, 4. Wait, 3.1. Wait. 3. Okay, whatever. Honestly, I have lost count, but this time it's the real deal since everything is closed except for essential services. So basically, we're back to square one. When is this going to be? When is this going to be over, Shireen?
I don't know. I honestly don't know how to feel anymore. In fact, well, the whole thing is quite worrying. I really hope this whole thing will end soon, really, and the case go down as soon as possible. Am I delayed, James?
Yes, I think it's the virus affecting you also.
I think so. Everything is. This is really funny.
This is what I had last week, right? With the internet problem.
Yes.
Anyway.
And guess what? I don't have the IT experts here with me today. I'm all alone to suffer. Looking funny.
Okay, we will
Anyway.
we'll fill in for you. Anyway, welcome everyone.
Anyway, if you're new here, you guys can hear me perfectly clear, right? Okay, if you are new here, HR Intervention is actually an online talk show where we interview HR experts about everything related to HR and career development. And we've covered a lot of important issues lately, from counteroffer, unconscious bias at the workplace, and many other topics already. So if you are a working person, then this show is definitely for you. So before we move on with the topic of the day, let me introduce myself. I'm Shireen, the MD of Compass Mind Asia, with a very bad internet connection today. Apologies for that. On to you, James. Yes, you're always
Shireen, you didn't ask me why I'm wearing pink today.
Oh yeah, you're looking so good wearing pink and so checkety. Why?
Because I want to stay in the pink of health. Dun, dun, dun.
Ooh. All
Yes.
right. I hope you are feeling in the pink of health.
Yeah, I am. I have not left my house at all. I cook food. I just go to the grocery shop, buy whatever I need, and come back. I don't hang out anywhere. I don't, this COVID thing is real. It's real. Yeah. And hello, everyone. I'm James Sussy, Senior Manager of Learning and Development, and this is HR Intervention Episode 7. Somebody I know is here, Tulasi.
Yay!
Oh,
hi guys, hi everybody.
Hello everyone.
Hi
Shireen, why your country very hot one?
Why my what?
Why your country very hot one?
My country like that, oh. So we have people from Pakistan. I wonder how Pakistan is. Imtiaz, how is Pakistan? How's the weather over there? And since James is wearing pink for pink of health, how are all of you doing? Well, honestly, I'm feeling a little bit weird because I was supposed to be doing my HR, the live show at home today. And then I decided, let's switch to office again because I was just worried about the house internet. And guess what? Techie had to play games with me at the beginning of the show. But, well, thank God everything is good right now. And I hope it maintains that way because Spice and Nina, who are my techie guys, are not working from the office at all. So, hi Krishna, hi Rushnaja, Andreas, hi Farid, CA. Oh,
Saya, Francis. We've got some familiar names. It's so good to see you guys in the audience. Can you imagine if we had, like a studio and we see all these familiar faces and, I'll definitely be Oprah Winfrey.
And then we've got people from Nepal, from Pakistan. Wow. Yeah, tell us where are you from if you are here on the show listening in live to us. Where are you from?
Yay. Anyway, don't worry, Shireen. You'll do just fine, even better since we have a lot of supporters from our audience. Welcome everyone. Faisal Sheikh, where are you from? Chao Majin, good to see you again. Vijay Francis, and of course, Tulsi. Tulsi, say something nice about me, okay?
No, Tulsi says something nice about me.
So by the way, Tulsi is Pfizer. So,
hi, Hado. We're doing great. Sorry, I interrupted you, James. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, please leave your comments in the chat box. Or if you have a question, you can also write it in the chat box. And then, as always, I want to see who's new. Hi, Hada. Eliana Hassan, of course. Liana Hassan, of course. You're our favorite here. And if you have watched our previous episodes, do comment hashtag HRTV. We'd love to see some of the regular faces here.
Yeah, and if you are a newbie, type hashtag newbie. Well, let's see. There are people saying hello, Shireen and James, but coming out as a LinkedIn user.
Yeah, just drop us your name.
Hazman. I'm looking at my phone, by the way. If you see me looking at below, I'm just looking at who's on because on the
put that device away and concentrate on the show.
Oh, sorry, but that's where I'm concentrating on the people because StreamYard doesn't show us everybody that's here, So it's nice to see all the lovely faces here. And guys,
hi, Clarice. Good to see you again. Welcome to the show.
Yay. And guys, if you all are, if you can comment down below, are you working from home? Oh, Tulasi's newbie. If you're working from home, comment working from home. Or if you are in the essential services, let us know that you're in the essential services because we really appreciate
essential service and working from home.
Oh, okay. You're lost. Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to be kind to you. Yeah. Well, let us know how this MCO is doing for you so far. I know it's tough for each and every one, but we are all here to support one another in these difficult times. Yeah, we've got someone working from home. Who else is working from home? WFH. Who is essential services? Lisa. Lisa. Zuhazman is also working from home. Tulasi.
Yeah, she's been working from home for more than a year,
Where is Tulasi from?
Tulsi is from KL. She was my management trainee, someone that I used to make coffee for.
Oh, can I be a management trainee, please?
I'm the only boss who makes coffee for their staff. So there you go. By the way, did you guys catch our pre-show video? This time, they are just some funny scenes. I always love The Office, right? From one of our favorite series, The Office. So can you guys guess what our topic is for the day? And it is so good because it just happened to me yesterday. Can you imagine? Sherriza, I was thinking, how about this time we introduce our guest first before letting our audience know on the topic of the day. Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. So shall we introduce our guest, who is none other than a very special HR director with 24 years of HR industry experience. And you know what? She doesn't just have experience in one industry. She has experience in multiple industries. So you might
Like
ask,
me.
you might, you might ask, which industries does she come from? Well, she's been in the construction, airline, oil and gas, financial, manufacturing. That's not all. There is many others. But let us welcome our guest. Please help me welcome together with us, Sherriza.
Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm loving the energy. I'm loving the energy.
Welcome, Sherriza, to our HRTV. So nice to have you here today.
Very, very happy to join you. And hello, everyone. So nice meeting you. Some of you I'm familiar with because we are already connections on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for having me, Shireen and James, this afternoon.
Thank you. And by the way, it so happened that Sherriza and I used to work in the same company. Tulsi, me.
I like
See how I added that in. Yes,
Yeah.
I just realized that we used to work for the same company. That's amazing. So oil and gas company. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this episode really well. I'd say you have an impressive background, Sherriza, and amazing experience. But what else can you tell us about yourself? Maybe what type of person you are, your personality trait, perhaps anything that you don't mind sharing with us.
How about I let you guys guess? Okay, how about I throw you 2 truths and 1 lie, and you guess which one is the lie. Okay.
Okay.
Number one, I've featured in a Hollywood movie. Number 2, I am animated, but I'm shy. Number 3,
Animated, right? Okay.
Number 3, I'm the youngest child in the family of 3. Siblings of 3. So which one is the
Shall we
Okay,
get
the lie is Hollywood because I would have seen you in Hollywood if you were there.
So let's ask our people watching in, our audience, what do you think is the lie? Come on.
Number 1, she was featured in a Hollywood movie.
Number 2?
Animated or shy?
Animated or shy. Number
Number
3, youngest of 3.
Let's say number 2.
Youngest child in the family of 3. Where is Liz? Liz better be helping us out with this one. Where is she? She promised to come.
Yeah,
Hollywood
Tulsi says Hollywood is lie, so yeah.
Number
I-
2. The another is James Lassie. Oh, she's coming for you, this Tulasi.
Well, there seems to be a lot of pent-up of James today. Even someone said, what sassy sassy.
I introduced myself as Sassy.
How? First two.
First two. Okay, first two.
First two.
You know what? I think your Hollywood material. You probably appeared in one of those Hollywood movies that were shot here in Malaysia. I would say.
Zul Hasman says you have an actor's face. Hollywood maybe, right? Come on, shoot, guys. Let's see. More answers. What do you think?
You see, one actor should, recognize another one.
Of course.
So off. Got an actor face. Mm-hmm.
1 and 3, right?
Lie.
2 is a lie. Animated but shy. Zurina Omar. She's not shy. I don't.
Ileana says maybe number 2 is the lie. Number 2 is the animated but shy. So
give us the truth. Drum roll.
I actually appeared in a Hollywood movie as one of the person who crossed the street in New York. That was in
What movie was that?
1995, or was it 92? I don't remember. What movie was that? Good question. I signed them. They saw me walking and they wanted to shoot a scene of people crossing the street. So I'm one of those who crossed the street because they needed the crowd. But I had to sign an NDA, right, for that. So I don't remember what movie it is, but it was in Florida actually. So yes, I was actually in a Hollywood movie, right? That's not a lie. I am animated. I'm very expressive, but I'm actually shy. I only I know a lot of people because of my work, but I only have very small group of friends. My Facebook and my social media are private, so I'm shy. Yeah. So the lie is the third one. I am the eldest in my family. I've got a sister living in Switzerland, and my brother is living here in the city with just a few blocks away over here in Bangsa. Yeah, that's about me in short.
Wow, that's a nice intro about yourself, Sherriza, isn't it?
Even though you're crossing the street in an Hollywood movie, but it's still a Hollywood movie.
Yeah, man. Yeah, mention. That's another way of branding yourself. Appeared
I
in
know.
Hollywood. That. Yeah.
Everyone will want to be your friend. Just don't tell them you cross the street. You appear
wearing my 1990s jeans. Do you remember those jeans those days? I don't know about you, Shireen. You must be young.
Is it the bell bottoms? 1990s.
No, the high waist.
Bottoms in the 80s, 70s, 80s. Although I wasn't born, I'm still the millennial.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Not exactly a millennial, but feel like a millennial. So it's a millennial. Millennial. Okay, yeah. So, yes, Hollywood star. Wow, that's amazing.
Who crossed the street? Yeah.
I was in a UK famous boy band's music video.
Oh, of course.
Just one of those what do you call extras who are jumping up and down. So, yeah. So we have something in common. So the pre-show video. So did you guys guess what the topic is about today? If you've watched, first to answer will get something from Shireen.
Yes, it will be a red velvet cake sponsored by James, given to me to be given away. So
yeah, anyway, for your information, Sherriza, before we start our show, we usually play some sort of a fun short video, either from movie scene or from YouTube, just to give you a hint of our topic for the day.
yes, so today we took some scenes from one of our favorite shows called The Office, which reminds me, we haven't told our audience what our topic of the day is yet.
Yep, we haven't.
Way they probably already know from the lay up there, But let us just do a formal introduction. Today's topic is a performance calibration in the hybrid working environment.
So my Hollywood reaction.
I saw I give it more gempak.
In fact, I was just telling them that I had my own performance review yesterday. Yeah, and before that, I was like this.
Oh, that's who just appeared. Liz, you just appeared. We needed you just now. And you just appeared now. We needed your help about Sherriza's truth and lies. But never mind, we will load you in on that later on. So let's continue with the show.
Yes, I am really interested about this particular topic. Shireen?
Yeah, I'm sure it's a very heavy topic, isn't it? But well, don't you want to say something before we get started? Actually, James.
This title sounds pretty heavy, Shireen. So, Sherriza, 2 questions. Is it a heavy topic? And yes or no, is the scene from The Office usually how you do performance review? Is it that funny? I don't
No, I don't do that with my team members. And yes, is it possible that it happens? I think it's possible it happens, but in a different context. And I worry sometimes when I hear feedback like this, which is why it is important that we have a performance calibration meeting after the review process is done between the manager and the employees.
The hard
Brilliant.
work begins.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
true.
sorry, James, you say?
That's when the hard work begins, right?
Yeah, yes, you're right. The hard work begins for the HR team mostly. Yeah, because it's very laborious work involved preparing for that meeting normally.
That's
So, Shereen, that's
okay. Yeah, my internet is a little bit laggy, so if I'm a little bit delayed, please forgive me. Anyway, hi, Dr. Reza, welcome. Sharifa. Sharifa says James is so cute. He usually is.
Bruce
Jason,
Naga, Bruce finally made it right, Tom.
yeah. So, anyways, last week, well, was it last Friday or Saturday? The government announced another MCO, isn't it? And this time it's a really real full MCO where almost all industries are ordered to close or work from home except those essential services. I don't see anyone commented on essential services just now. If you are from the essential services, do comment in the chat box because we would love to know. Oh, Shireen is stuck every now and then. Yes, I am. I'm very, very stuck. I'm stuck
No, she's just doing the Hollywood pose.
because of the
Strike a pose. Strike a pose. There you go.
now and then is just nice. And anyway, this MCO actually isn't new to us. Last October,
Yes.
MITI actually ordered more than 750,000 Malaysian employees actually to work from home. But those were selected areas like Selangor, KL, and Sabah, not the whole country. But this time around, it's really affecting the whole country. And all economic sectors are not allowed to operate except for the 17 essential services.
Exactly.
So,
Shereen. And even so, only 60% are allowed to work for those services. So, can you all imagine how many people are working from home this time? However, even from home, life must go on. And that includes a lot of daily, monthly, and annual routines, such as giving paychecks and doing employee review, which happened to me yesterday. Which is why today we're bringing our guest to discuss and help us understand better how performance calibration is done while being in a hybrid working environment at home and at the office all year round. And somebody in the, Liaz just asked, put it in layman terms, what does it mean? In my, the work that in my previous company, when the MCO started, we began to work from home, and it was entirely new from them. This concept of working from home was entirely new from them. So tell us, how do you do this?
Okay, so what happens after performance review, like after you have met your managers, etc., etc., the HR department will organize performance calibration meeting, right? It's a meeting where it involves managers from different departments, yeah, and they get together, they look at the staff overall performance. So that's, imagine lots and lots and lots of spreadsheet. So in that meeting, right, the objective of that meeting is to arrive at a consistent level or consistent standard, yeah, of performance across different departments. So in a division, say you may have 5, 6 departments, right? There will be, say, 100 staff of different level. So what we want to do is we benchmark staff of that level and we differentiate their performance accordingly. Yeah. So why do we need to do that, right? We need to do that because James, Shireen, we human beings, right? Inherently, we have our favorites, and the process is really subjective, right? You may have a numerical way of rating your performance. You may have a qualitative way of rating your performance. Like for example, in companies like PwC, Accenture, they have done away with ratings. It's visual, it's a graph, right? Yeah. So rating or non-rating, at the end of the day, you need to arrive with an overall performance score that will determine your bonus and increment. Right? So when you see the video just now, in the simple video, right, between Pam, Stephanie, and Pam, Angela, and Stanley, right, in that same simple video, who do you think will get the better ratings despite their performance? Anyone can guess?
Let's ask our audience. What do you all think from the video, the 1 minute video that was played before the session started?
How to move away.
James, would you like to answer that?
I hope all three of them get. If it was me.
It seems to me from that short video, Stanley, because he knows what to answer. They didn't talk about performance. That guy is not a manager that you want in your department. I would coach that person if the person works with me, right? But in that context, right, the person who knows what to say, what he wants to say, in that case, it was Stanley. He said this. He looked away and he said, "It's my bonus," right? So he's just saying things for the sake of saying things because he knows that the boss will rate him well. And about that girl, Pam, she was ready to be assessed, but the guy slammed the door. Your rating is satisfactory, right? So this is where us HR practitioners, we play a role to ensure that there is a consistent way of rating an individual. So that's what performance calibration meeting is all about. So in a hybrid world, it's tough, guys. It was tough for me. Because normally we would do this in a room. In great companies, in high-performing organizations such as PwC, Accenture, and a lot of multinational companies that I know, they would spend the whole day and the whole night, guys. So do you know that this happens after you've done your performance review? It's a lot of work, just to sit in a room to look at everybody's performance. It is not about bell curve, Rashdan. It is not about that. It is not. A lot of companies have removed bell curve, but performance calibration is necessary. It is necessary. So how do I do it? Why is it difficult, right? Because I would pick up those rated outstanding. I would pick it up. So first we go by grade. So for example, junior management level, outstanding, right? So we filter all the outstanding. So they could be in finance department, they could be they could be in operations, can be in procurement, can be in sales, etc., right? Filter it down, and then I would get the managers to justify why they are outstanding performers. Because if they really do their review well, they will listen. They know how to articulate it, right? And there are many occasions. So if it's face to face, right, it's easy because you know that here I'm not judging you, I'm not testing you, because it's run by HR department. It's run by the HR. The HR plays a very, very big role in this because we are the independent party. Yeah. And it's easy for them to say, what do you know? You don't run the business. You don't bring the money in. We do. You only spend my money. That's fine, right? But it's easy. It's face to face. But in a hybrid working situation where, like for us, it's 70-30. 70% of us work from home, and the 30% are the bank employees. So it's tough because of internet. The bandwidth, some of us didn't switch on our video. And on top of that, I was new. Nobody knew me before.
Yeah. You told me that. Oh, I can imagine how difficult.
Yeah, how would you imagine, right? So, and another reason, just to give you a feel how it's tough, right? I can see certain managers giving the same points to all of her 20 employees. So everybody got 3.8. You see,
Wow.
things like this, right? When you do this, imagine 3.8 is exceeding expectation, right? Right? As a HR, you got to be fair to the other employees in a different department and in the same level, because it could be that she had 20 staff. She didn't have time to meet all 20s. I mean, come on, that happens, right? So by just simply the 3.8 all. So these are the things that you need to question, right? So it was tough for me. The other
Probably
tough,
all have the same WhatsApp group. Say, hey guys, let's all do this 3.8.
that's right. Yeah, you may not know. She may not even meet the employees, right? So it was tough for me. But there are ways to deal with it.
Yep. I mean, Sherriza, thank you for that clear definition and explanation of performance collaboration, and that sort of like brings us to our next question, which is, why do a performance calibration in the first place, and is it really important?
But before Sherriza answers that, if our audience have any questions, also put it in the comment section, because I do see some questions coming in. And Ravi, hi Ravi, and then also can't wait to hear from Sherriza. That was for Amiza. So yeah, go ahead. Of course, you've read Rashdan's answer already about the bell curve, which you said don't work. It's not the right way to do it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry. Go ahead with the answer now.
So, James, to answer why is it important? So typically, as Rashdan said, in typical organization, for lack of better ways, we would use the bell curve 10%, because at the end of the day, the rating decides the bonus and increment. So you have, so each division is given, say, a certain budget, so you got to spend within that budget, right? So in typical organization, they will apply the bell curve, which is unfair. Because when you apply the bell curve, you can have a hard cut on the ratings, etc. Right? And the thing is, more and more high-performing companies, more and more multinational companies are moving away from the bell curve because it's unfair. It's just a hard cut at certain graph. So more performance calibration becomes very, very important because we get to ensure that the performance rating are stacked up accordingly, based on performance. So that's when I get the managers to speak up and articulate the reason why he gave the person that kind of rating. So I would spend a lot of time on outstanding, and then I would normally spend some time people at the border. The person which is between meeting expectation and exceeding expectation, and run down the list, and then I go look at the non-performers, right? Because just to understand why. And during this session, you can see which managers that don't even know their staff, don't even know what the staff is doing. You can see from that.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a team of so many people. I mean, if you have one or two or three, then it's fine. But if you manage like 20, 30 people, So anyway, we have another question for our audience, Shireen. How does your organization do performance review? Last year, since the pandemic started, right? So everybody started working from home. So how was it done last year? Was it done online, through a survey, or through a conference call? So drop it in the chat and let us know how it was done. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually. Do you remember, guys, that last time working from home was really a luxury, but now it's become a norm. Last time when you get to work from home, people take the advantage of travel and work from another country kind of thing, or they get to travel in between work. But now it's not just a norm, but it's a must for some organizations. So because of a lot of changes, you see, our lives are changing so much right now. Our work is changing, our lives are changing, everything is changing. So I'm wondering, the way performance calibration is also carried out has changed too, right? How was it conducted before pandemic? Is it like what you said just now, Sherriza, sit in a room and, late nights and all that kind of things? How exactly?
Order lunch, dinner, coffee, whatever. I put everybody in the room. Everybody has to justify it down until we get everybody's agreement, then we won't leave the room, right? 9 grade, yeah.
No, I mean we can't apply the same methods
I like Lisa's question. Yeah.
in the current circumstances. So yeah, like what Shireen said. So how do you conduct it now during the pandemic? Like, you know.
Yeah. So difficultly lah. Yeah.
So,
So if I may address Lisa's question, right? What do I do, right? So what I normally do and what I think work well, cushion the impact of my questioning this time in a hybrid environment is I would talk to the head of division. So I have several clients. I look after 3,000 staff. I have several divisions under my care. So I would meet the head of division first, and I'm saying, look, I'm going to do this, and I need you to be on my side because I wanna make sure that your staff gets, you know, consistent, fair, and rating, etc. I get them their permission first. If they say, oh no, I disagree, I don't want that, then I say, fine, I can better spend my time. I'm not going to spend 1 hour, you know, one day talking about this, right? But I get their commitment first, right? And I say, I'm going to be asking you questions. Do you mind if I ask you these questions? And they say, yeah, they don't mind, right? So I got their commitment. I make sure I got their commitment first. And then on the real day, when we went live, it was fine because they also stick to their words. I mean, they are leaders for a reason, right? Leaders of the bank, right? So when they find and when they get the hang of what I'm trying to achieve, they will be the one asking the managers questions.
that's fabulous.
Mm.
Yeah. So you get their buy-in first.
It's very important. Get the leaders. If you see the leaders is, hey, we bring the revenue, then you gotta find another way to deal with it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have that's Liz's question, and we have a very interesting question from Rusnaja here, and I'm really interested in that. How are you gonna answer this though, Sherriza? And Rusnaja says, how does HR rate those staff members who are quite passive in the group chat, socializing, but their work performance is above average now that they are working from home and can focus solely on their work?
Okay, Rosnaja, HR doesn't rate anyone, yeah, except for our own people, we don't rate, yeah, but we facilitate this during the performance calibration meeting, yeah, Rosnaja. So during the performance calibration meeting, as I mentioned, we look at your KPIs, right? So this is why we do performance calibration, because we want to help those who are quiet, those who don't answer the chat group at 1 o'clock in the morning, those who say, hey, it's lunchtime, I need to prepare food for my kids. That's why it is important now, because we ask that question, why did you rate this person outstanding? Why is this person exceeding expectation but not meeting expectation? So we get your manager, Rosnaja, to justify why the ratings of individuals or certain individuals of the group. If they cannot justify with quantitative measurement or some qualitative measurement to support their case, we push it down. We push down the rating. And it happened. It happened. That's why I said it was sensitive. It's a sensitive thing, right? Imagine, Shireen, if someone asks you, why did you rate James like that? He's weaping only, is it?
Because he's charming. Of course not.
For charming wise, I'm off the charts. You know,
I know, just totally off.
Again, I gotta ask this, Sherriza. How accurate would you say the performance calibration that is done now? Are the results good, better, or not very accurate since it's done in a hybrid environment? How accurate is the calibration, the results of the calibration?
That's a very good question.
Very good question, James. But the measurement for me on whether I've done very well is actually coming. Is okay. Number one, I can see it's equal distribution. I mean, just one, right? But to me, the measurement that I've done my job well as a HR person in that room is when I look at the employee engagement survey that happens at the end of the year. Because in any employee engagement survey, there is a question around how do you feel your performance being rated? Is it fair? Or then there would normally be a question on did your boss have a good conversation around performance with you, and so on. So for James, to answer your question, for me, the argument that I've done it well is really from the feedback from the employees. That they feel that their performance rating was done fairly. They feel that they understand where their bonus and increment are paid, and they can see the linkage between what they're supposed to deliver and their reward. And they feel that they're being recognized. That's how I would measure my performance in this context.
That's a very, very interesting question that just came in. This is for our expats here. So if you are an expat, or you're an expat working here in Malaysia, can you just drop it in the chat and tell us, to speak about the Malaysian aspect of how they have felt loved and accepted and are doing well. It's great being in your own and achieving success, but getting into an unknown space and making it a success is the most difficult part. I mean, we are in a familiar territory, but imagine if you're an expat working for a Malaysian setup, right? So how would that be for you guys? So it's a good suggestion from Cheryl there. And I just have to put this. Someone else said I look 28.
Okay.
Okay.
I got something nice to say, but I'll not say anything at all. Anyway, let's have a question for our audience. Yeah, since we're coming to the end very soon, and there's been quite interesting number of questions from the guests. So if you have more questions, from the audience, if you have more questions, do put it out in the comment section. But I have one question for you guys, the audience. But we would love to know what are the topics that you guys want us to discuss in our upcoming episodes. We always love to know, because then we can cater to your requirements and your needs. Let us know in the comment section below. And another question for Sherriza. Would you agree if I were to say that the new method of conducting performance calibration is really not widely used just yet? And if so, if you agree with that, in your opinion, what do you think should organizations do to evolve into the new method of performance calibration? Because a lot of us know that they do the performance appraisal and then they don't calibrate, right? Or do they all of them do calibrate? So what's your advice on how do organizations evolve?
Are there any tools that you're now using? Like, that there must be some tools out there that you can use where everybody can come in.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad when Shireen wants to put up this subject, because when I did a short last night, when I did I just did a quick Google. I search on the internet on this topic. It's not widely discussed. Right? So I guess that answers your question, Shireen. So perhaps I have been lucky because I've worked in organizations that set this process after performance review. So this process happens after performance review, right? So we do, and I've been very, very lucky in my career that I have management, top leadership that's supportive of the what I want to achieve, right? So the key is, James, is not the tool. The tool is the Excel sheet typically that you use. You may have these changgeh visuals that you do to them to show your performance, etc. It boils down to coming out with a sheet so that you can see how the ratings stack up according to the grade and according to the individuals, and that's the key. So that's the only tool. For as long as you can see that, that's great, right? But the key is really to make this successful is the leadership team has to buy in. They have to understand that this process works. Rashdan, you mentioned about bell curve. Yes, I do not agree in bell curve. I have seen how many times how bell curve backfires, right? But you remove bell curve, the greater importance that you need to put on performance calibration. If you do well, ultimately you will see improvement in your retention, staff retention. You can see the people, the productivity level will be different. People will be motivated. They trust you. They trust that you're rating them well, right? You can see you are retaining your successes, your key talents. Yeah. That's
Again,
why
I
it's
mean, we're talking about, for those who have just joined us, we're talking about, performance calibration in a hybrid working environment. And there's an interesting question here, Shereen, from LinkedIn user. How do
The
you prep
user.
managers who are not familiar with calibration process? Some managers rate their employees based on their relationship with their team
yeah,
members.
it happens, right? It happens, right? So how do you prep? In companies that have done well, LinkedIn user, I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Oh, it is Amiza.
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 Okay, companies that have done well we prepare them with conversational guidelines. We prepare them before conversational guidelines, what you need to do, and then before we start the meeting, we'll remind them of the purpose. Right, we give them tips. Don't look at the recency effect. Just look at the whole year. Don't just look at what happens in the last 3 months and so on. So some of the tips and some reminders before we start the meeting. Yeah, that's true. Some managers do rate their employees because we are human beings. Yeah, as much as I like, you cannot. So you got to do that. Good companies, multinational companies, the ones who have done well, their managers would prepare a script. One big, and I have seen a manager, a very good one, preparing scripts about why this person deserves to be outstanding, right? There are some people, they even rate their staff. The person walks on water because those who done well, they know that they are ready, they are objective, they come in with the end in mind, they will prepare the script. And yeah, so that's, I hope I've answered your question, Amiza.
Especially if this is something that your organization has been doing over and over again, it should
Over
be
again,
something, yeah, something that's so easy, right? But I've got a very, very interesting question for you, Sherriza. What do you predict post-pandemic from your personal point of view? Do you, do you foresee a calibration process going back to the traditional way, or are you getting used to the hybrid culture? Which is more comfortable? And how about others? I mean, for you guys out there, our audiences, yeah. Do you prefer, everybody get together or wearing their masks? Yeah, sanitize your hands, spray, sanitizer.
Social distance.
Yeah. So, are we going in? I mean, what do you predict the future? Let's say post-pandemic. Let's say, COVID ends, everybody gets vaccinated. Would you prefer the traditional way or would you prefer the hybrid way?
James, I'm an orang lama, I'm old. I prefer the traditional way because it's nothing like seeing their eye contact. Because, in the hybrid environment, right, you guys have your own separate group chat that may not include the HR department. So you guys may just, collaborate and defend each other, right? So I feel that for an important meeting like this, where we talk about your overall rakyat jelata's performance, right? It has to be in a room. Yeah. But I do find the opportunity working in using technology to reach out those who are not living away from out of the region, right? I mean, when I was in working in Dubai, we already started working in hybrid because I couldn't enter some countries. For example, Saudi, I couldn't enter because of the visa. So even back those days, I did performance calibration via con call. So it has already happened, but my preference is in the room.
That's great. We have a question from Sharifa actually, but I'm wondering, she asked how to conduct difficult conversations. Is this part of
This is the next topic, I think.
Calibration, or would that be at performance review? Before performance review starts, that's when you have your difficult conversations, right? Where do difficult conversations come in?
can come in before that, right? When you have your review. But in the context, Sharifah, if you're referring to HR context, right? That would happen after for me normally. So what happens after performance calibration? The performance calibration is one thing, right? But it is a very good practice that the manager, the supervisor, close the loop by informing the staff whose ratings were adjusted. Close the loop and explain why. Hey, I rated you superstar, but when we rate you with your peers, you're actually not superstar. That conversation must happen because you know why? And this, unfortunately, this thing happens in great companies as well. Unfortunately, it happened, right? That when they don't do that, what do you think the managers answer? You ask HR lah, HR rate you down.
It's
And
all HR.
and just quickly, there's Liz's question. Do you think there should be key leadership training? Why performance calibration is important for the leaders to care and show that they care for the performance and find out what their team are really doing. Don't you think this comes down to what attitude will leaders adopt to ensure the success of their team? So should there be a training for the leaders, and what sort of attitude should they adopt? Just a quick one before we conclude our show.
Few factors there. I would not, because performance calibration is just a process, right? Leadership training should remain. So whatever typically is about managing stakeholders, about building your team, and so on. This is a part of building your team. It's about building trust. How do you build trust? How do you motivate your team? How do you increase productivity? So this is part of that aspect, right? But to have training on performance calibration, I don't think so, because if you're already in the senior management role, you should already understand that this is necessary. Because me, James, Shireen, I bet you if we rate an individual, say Nina, for example, the three of us will give Nina different ratings because some of them, some of them
50.
different perspective, then relationship comes into picture. And also is this habit, if you notice when you respond to survey, right? If there is strongly agree, disagree, neutral, etc., which box do you normally tick? I, for one, I can tell you, I like to tick the strong. Is either the top right or the other end of the spectrum. I don't go in between. Human behavior. So
Yes.
not the same.
That's why they have the rating of 1 to 10. They don't go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's either 1 or 10. You know.
Yeah.
So, Shereen, do you have a question for Sherriza?
Yeah, actually, we are coming to the end. Before we conclude, actually, Sherriza, would you say that Malaysians are already ready to continue working from home post pandemic? To have a hybrid work model in relation to what looking at the environment now. After everyone's vaccinated, inoculated, do you think that this hybrid model is here to stay?
Yeah, I mean, from the feeds and from the conversation that I've had with my peers, most of the organization are thinking about making it permanent, the work from home and work from office permanent. I have seen leaders changing their mindset, looking at outcome instead of the hours put in. So I've seen that. But here's what interesting, James, Shireen, from my own observation, the ones who want to go back to work are mostly the staff.
Yes.
They can't wait to leave their kids behind. Like, oh my God, they drive me nuts. The online classes are nuts. They can't wait to come to work. And of course, the thing that we take for granted, the lunch break. That is very important part of the day, James. Where to go out for lunch? The coffee
Which
chat.
shop we're gonna go to? What are we gonna have this week? I mean, I miss that as well. I mean, I'm here cooking my own food and eating my own food. Luckily, I can cook. I don't food poison myself or rely on Maggie me. But so yes, the camaraderie, the going out together, etc.
The lunch breaks, the chit chat,
too long, right? And
the
now that
gossip, the birthday celebration, James cakes.
Yes, James cakes, going from one cubicle to another.
we're approaching the end of our session for the day. So we would like to thank our guest, Sherriza, for all the brilliant things that she's shared with us today, and most of all her time, for this serious discussion with us today. You know what? The pandemic has definitely taken its toll on everyone. And apart from patiently waiting for the things that are beyond our control, i.e., the vaccines and other national measures, what can we do? What we can do is definitely to evolve and adapt with the current situation, like what we discussed today, right? Where the work environment has to move. Yeah, if you're a social bumblebee, please stay at home. Okay, be safe. Be social bumblebee. Bzzz.
Absolutely. And we also wish and totally pray for all of you to be protected from the virus and for all of us to actually remain strong, because mental health is another important thing that we all speak about now, because working from home, I know it's not easy. Sometimes the four walls end up talking back at you, which is scary. Oh yeah, James, don't do that. So anyway, we thank everyone for being here today, for joining us, for listening to us, for being so engaging, for asking questions, and thanks for
As
being such.
usual, they're so amazing. They're so amazing. Sherriza, before we end, would you like to share with our audience your social media links and how they can reach you in case they have any further questions, or perhaps you'd like to give our audience any last word of advice?
Yeah, please drop me a line. Connect with me at on LinkedIn. You can find me at my name, Sherriza No, on LinkedIn. Happy to answer any of your questions and continue the engagement. Thank you so much, James, Shireen, for giving me an opportunity to talk about this topic that is really, 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 really close to my heart. My hope, as for before I end, my hope for everyone, my takeaway my hope for everyone is for you to get vaccinated. Go out, guys. If you haven't got it, go out. Tell your friends. Reach out to your friends
I
in
check my
Kelantan.
Sejahtera every day. I check my Sejahtera every day.
Yes, please get vaccinated. Is important. The best vaccination is the one in your arm. So please, let's do that and help Malaysia to get back to normalcy ASAP.
ASAP, that's right. The best vaccination, like Sherriza says, is in your arms, not any brand. So get it today. Really, thanks for
Tell us
that,
about the next
Sherriza.
episode. Before we end, we have 1 more minute to go.
Yeah. So our next episode of HR Intervention is in 2 weeks from now, 16th of June. Lock your date, lock your time. It's on the same Wednesday at the same time, 1 to 2 at the same place. And we'll have a really special guest with us. So make sure you block your calendar right now. Don't forget to connect with all of us on our social media. The links are in the chat box. Connect with us, comment, ask questions. Yeah, there. Yeah, there. All of us. Yeah, so we look forward to having all of you connect with us. And if you have any training related questions, please drop us an email at training@compassmindasia.com.
compassmindasia.com. So till the next time, stay at home, stay safe, have a joyful and productive lockdown. We'll see you guys on the next episode of HR Intervention. Serious discussions only.
Bye. Stay safe.